I think it still remains to be seen just how much interest we'll see in the company, especially because their projections are very ambitious at the moment. This was a valuation based on revenue of, I believe, hundreds of millions of dollars by 2023, with hundreds of flights in that year with over 1,500 passengers. And that's a lot considering the fact that Virgin Galactic just went to space for the very first time in December and has only been to space twice. Still a big deal, but also they've got a long way to go to get to those projections that they sold this merger on.
Obviously, it's a very young industry still. I mean, what's the business model?
Right. It's a very small pool of companies that are just focused on space travel and just human spaceflight. So really, we're only talking about Virgin Galactic, Blue Origin, and SpaceX, and those are the ones that are so focused solely on this endeavor. And with SpaceX and Blue Origin, they don't really need that kind of investment right now because they've got Elon Musk, who's been very successful with raising capital for the company. And then with Blue Origin, you've got Jeff Bezos at the helm, and he's the wealthiest man, and he's got enough money for the time being.
The way Chamath and Richard Branson talk about the business model, though, it's just a matter of flipping a switch. In other words, we have this demand, we have these deposits, we have the cash balances, and it's essentially it's a joyride business. It's an amusements business. It's not as if you have to sign up commercial clients or things like that. Is it easy? What are the hurdles between now and when they can actually
I really do think
live?
It is determining who wants these kinds of rides, right? In terms of the people that have put down deposits, it's the one percenters, it's famous actors, it's people with a lot of money to burn. $250,000 would be a great down payment for a house, and I don't think a lot of people would want to spend that on a joyride to space. So I think determining who's going to want to continue these rides. Are people going to want multiple rides? Not sure if that's the case. If you've gone once, do you want to go again? I think that all remains to be seen, and I think it's a little early to have these kind of massive projections.
Leslie, you've got a question for Loren?
Yeah, well, I was just curious about valuation in and of itself, because you see such wide disparity. I mean, this is looking at a $1.5 billion enterprise value. SpaceX, on the other hand, is valued at $33.3 billion. It'll be interesting to see how the public markets really assess valuation for these companies. And Chamath this morning on Squawk Box said that it was akin to a software model, but these things are pretty highly capital intensive, right? I mean, it costs a lot in terms of CapEx to build one of these companies, right?
Right. I think when it comes to space, there's a very long development time. It takes a lot of upfront money that you have to raise, millions and hundreds of millions of dollars. And there's no room for error, right? If you mess up, your rocket blows up, and that's a very visible problem that investors will see and that people will see and can really affect your business.